everyone, it's Angie the Craftnado, and today we are going to do a little WIP and Chat. It's been quite some time since I've been on with you guys just to kind of chat about what I've been up to and how things are going. And it's way past due, and I'm thinking about taking another last little trip up north before Nate starts school and things get back into, regular routines. I was thinking of leaving tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, but now I'm kind of rethinking that and think I might go on Wednesday. We still have not done any school shopping, so that's a thing that we need to get done. And then I just got a letter from the school that he has an immunization that is past due, or that is due to be renewed, and so we got to get that taken care of. And the dude needs a haircut. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like 9 miles of bad road, as my mom would say. So today we're going to be working on, today's the day I chose to work on this canvas. This is Worlds Away from Diamond Art Club. This is an older canvas. It is a 55 by 73, and I'm 99% sure that it's Mandy Manzano. I really, really think that's who it's from, but this is, like I said, it's an older canvas, and they don't have the artist name on it on the bottom like they do on the newer canvases. So you can see that I don't really have all that much completed on this canvas, and when I started this a long time ago, because when I started it, I was not using release papers to section off my diamond paintings, which I prefer to do now. But we're just gonna roll with it today, see how it goes, see what I can get done. For my tray, I'm just using my trusty dusty Star Ore large tray. I get this on Amazon. And for my Coverminder, I am going to have the privilege of being able to use for the first time my Coverminder from Snap Coverminders. Jenny, who is the Uncrafty Crafter on YouTube, has an Etsy shop, and she's making these scented Coverminders. And the cool thing about these scented Coverminders is the reason they're called Snap, and if you saw my unboxing, you already know this, or a lot of people have been showing these off lately, but I just think it's such a novel idea that you have this base, with your magnet on it, but then she has several different interchangeable decorations that you can snap in there. And this one is a dragon, and it has the scented felt pad in there that lets the smell come out, and I think it's unicorn farts. That's my scent that I have, and it smells really good. So I usually don't get a chance to use Coverminders because I use the release paper squares, but today I'm going to take advantage of the chance that I have to use them. So I'm just going to pull this back a ways. We'll see how far we get. And I don't really prefer working this way, but I don't know. I didn't feel like going back out into the other room to get my parchment squares. So we're just going to roll with it. I have my pens that I'm going to use today are this I tried to pick a couple of pens that kind of matched the painting, kind of switch it up. I have my go-tos that I use, most of the time. But I haven't worked with this pen in a long time. It's a different shape than what I'm used to. I kind of usually prefer this 3-bump. I find this to be the most comfortable. But I thought I would switch it up today and try this one as well. This one it's like a snakeskin, white cream snakeskin, and I think it's really cool. This one comes from O'Brien. What's the name of it's O'Brien with an E, no apostrophe after the O, and it's a shop on Etsy. They also have a Facebook. I think you can order through their Facebook as well. And then the other one I'm using is from Jim's Handmade Pens, also on Etsy, and I love this one. In my pens, I have, Maddie was using this pen last, so it has just Diamond Art Club pink wax in it because that's what she prefers. So we're just going to go with that because I don't feel like digging it all out and everything. I might have to grab some of it and re-wax because I don't know, pink wax, any pink, Diamond Art Club wax is better than average, but any pink wax I think is a pain in the butt. And then in my Jim's handmade pen shop pen, I have micro dots in my single placer, and I'm using Not Your Mama's Mud in Cotton Candy Craze today. Cotton Candy Craze. Or I got two of them here. It's pretty basic. I really love the smell of It's Pretty Basic. It smells like nutmeg and cinnamon. I might use that actually. I think I will. I'll go ahead and wax her up before I get started because I'm not sure how long that's been in there. And I know that this isn't probably the recommended way to fill your multi-placer with wax, but it works really well for me. I just take a little glob of it out of the container and run it across there, back and forth, and it fills it in really nicely, and you don't have a lot of over splooge. And I just find, for me, this is what works. So, you know, there are no rules to diamond painting. You just do what works. Yeah, that's all I can say. Oh, I know what I'll use in this pen, actually, because I have it sitting right here. When I come time to switch pens, I'll use this new wax that I just got because I told you guys I was going to test it out and see how well it worked. This is the new wax that I got in Berrylicious from the store on Etsy, Diamond Art Supply. And it's a harder, it's a harder wax, which I like. If I'm going to use a wax, I like it to be a harder wax, with the exception of Not Your Mama's Mud. I mean, I just love Not Your Mama's Mud. It's my absolute favorite for my multi-placer. So I don't know, does anybody out there use, let me get a color and get started so you're not just sitting here staring at a canvas. Not that you're probably watching my, oh, that's the wrong way, arrow. Not that you're probably watching my canvas anyway, but just in case you are, let me pull out a color and get started. Oh, and I'm also today using my Harbor Freights. I don't prefer Harbor Freights. They're not my favorite, but, you know, I'll use them. Jeff loves Harbor Freights. In fact, I'm getting ready to kit up his entry for Chuck-A-Long that's starting September 1st. I wanted to kit it up last night, but the only storage containers I have are my favorite 56 grid, these guys here, and he doesn't like those. He prefers Harbor Freights. So when we go out school shopping tonight, we're going to stop at Harbor Freight and get a couple of containers so that I can get him kitted up for Chuck-A-Long. So I'm going to have to pull this a little bit towards me. I don't know how that's going to work in the camera, but we'll see. Either that or you're going to see my big fat head poking into the camera, and nobody wants that. This is a weird way to work. I don't usually, I really prefer to section off my paintings. But we're just going to go with the flow. This is the first time I've picked this up today. It's already about 2:30, and I have been working, you know, I said I was going to work on a canvas a day, and for the most part, I've held to that. But there have been some canvases that I've only worked on for like a section, you know, just a couple hours, because I realized things I did not like about them, and so I didn't want to continue to work on them. And but there are other canvases that I have just gotten so into that I haven't wanted to put them down. And one of those is Maleficent from Treasure Studios Art. It's a Lizzie Falcon painting, and I'm almost finished with it. I'm sure I'll be finished with it by the end of the month. So, oh, what I started to say, I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I'll try to be a little bit more cohesive here. Has anybody ever tried using microdots in your multi-placer? I'm just curious because I love microdots in my single placer, but I've never tried to, you know, stuff them into my multi-placer and use them that way. And I wonder if anybody does that. So if you do, let me know in the comments and let me know how it works for you. I'm always, I like to try new things, but for me, new things usually don't stick. I'm really kind of a creature of habit, and I kind of get stuck in my routines. Excuse me. And that's just, the routine I've been stuck in is to use my, should I come up there and do those? No, because I'll have to stick my arm in it. This is really a backwards way that I'm going about this. The reason my canvas looks the way it does is because when I started this, I usually start a canvas from the lower right corner. I know everybody has their own method, but I usually start from the lower right corner and move this way and then turn the canvas and, go along the edges and then finish the middle last. And with this one, I started on it with it oriented this direction. So I was actually, working sideways. And I think that might be a better option for me still today. I think I might be a little funny to you guys to be looking at the canvas sideways, but for me, it's just going to be a lot easier to work on it that way. So let me rethink this, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll be more comfortable that way. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. So things have been going so well. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm just going to announce it here. I reached 1,000 subscribers last week. And to say that I am thrilled is the understatement of the year. I never imagined when I started my YouTube channel 5 months ago, and as of tomorrow, it will be exactly 5 months that I've been doing YouTube. Never imagined in a million years that I would reach 1,000 subscribers. I never imagined that I would have so many views on my videos. I just didn't think that was in the cards for me, and I was fine with that. I was doing this for myself as an outlet and to share all of my crafty pursuits, and just being as successful as I think that I have been has been just truly humbling for me. I just can't even believe that this has happened. So I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to all of you out there who are subscribers, and everyone who I've made so many friends, and so many of you that comment a lot have been here just from the beginning and have been so super supportive and kind to me. And some of you have become true and genuine friends, and I so much appreciate that. The people that I chat with through comments, I really value and look forward to chatting with you guys. I feel like I've found new friends, and it's an amazing feeling because, when you get to be of a certain age, I'm 46, and I am retired, so I don't, and my health is not the best. I have some health issues and some mobility issues, and I don't get out of the house as far as having, too much of a social life. I mean, I know nobody did with COVID, but I've been this way for years, and I can't believe how much I value these new friendships that I've made. Like, it has been, I didn't think at this stage in my life that I would be making new friends and looking forward to talking to you guys, and looking forward to hearing from you and what you have to say. And I have to say, I hear a lot of YouTube creators talk about, please don't be negative in your comments, or that they had a negative comment, or, that somebody was mean. And I don't want to jinx myself, but I have been so lucky. I've had a couple of kind of passive aggressive comments, I guess you could say. But I had one comment that I think that I could really say was negative, out of the a whole 5 months that I've been doing this. And to only have one comment, and really it wasn't, it was more, and it, it's funny because the user's name was something like, I don't remember it verbatim, but it was something like grumpy old wench or something like that is the user's name. And she just said on the one unboxing that I was doing, just open it already. And and that was the extent of the negativeness of the comment, which wasn't all that, even that isn't all that bad. It's not the worst thing that somebody could tell you. So I actually laughed when I read it because she wasn't wrong. I did take a long time to open it, but it was double-sided adhesive canvas, the Josephine Wall from Uniquely Yours Down Under. And I just wanted to make sure that I was letting it rest before I, as I unrolled it, that I was letting it rest properly, and I wasn't forcing it to unroll, because we all know that double-sided adhesive canvases can be fickle. And I had paid way too much for that canvas to, just for the sake of a video, be in a hurry to get it unrolled and get it, opened up to show you guys. I just wasn't going to sacrifice that for the sake of a video, and I would think that most people would, be able to understand that. So I kind of laughed because, like I said, she wasn't wrong. I did take a long time to open it. But I'm also not going to apologize for that, because that was the way it needed to be for that particular canvas. So, but other than that, you guys have been so supportive and so complimentary. And that's not something that I'm used to in my day-to-day life. And it has been just an amazing journey so far. And I look forward to continuing to do what I do, and I don't plan to change anything about what I'm doing or the way that I'm doing it. I have no intention, people have asked me, and I have absolutely no intention to monetize. That wasn't my reason for wanting to do YouTube in the first place. My reason was just to share with everyone the crafts that I was obtaining and the crafts that I was doing. I've got a video made that I'm going to put up later on this week, showing introduction, absolute beginner's guide, how to do punch needle. So, and I'm looking forward to that going up as a, kind of an instructional video. I'm going to do another one on how to hand knit, and so that'll be coming up probably next week. So, just not just unboxings and not just WIP and Chats, but, I also want to share with you, some of the knowledge that I have. I'm by no means an expert in any of these crafts. There's always going to be someone who's better than you and knows more than you, no matter what you're doing in life. So, but, somebody might be interested, and I might explain it in a way that is more relatable than somebody else. So that is what I plan to continue doing. On that note of the 1,000 subscribers, it is still a celebration. Regardless of what my intentions are for the future, reaching that milestone is still a celebration for me. I made Jeff take me out to dinner on the night that I reached 1,000 subscribers, I had 2 beers. I was feeling all kinds of good when I came away from that dinner. They were big beers. I'm not usually a drinker. So, yeah, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny because usually I'm the one who drives home when we go out to dinner because Jeff will have a couple beers at dinner. But the roles got reversed for that dinner, and it was kind of funny. He was a little bit surprised. He was like, "Oh, you're really tying one on." Yeah, 2 beers, and that's me tying one on. Boy, I am a far cry from the partier that I was in my 20s. Let me just tell you that. And early 30s. I suppose I was still a little bit of a partier in my early 30s, too. But not anymore. Those days are far, far behind me. So, but it is a celebration, and with any celebration comes gifts, right? Right. Gotta have gifts with any celebration. So there will be a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I'm not exactly sure how that's going to look yet. I have not cemented it in my mind of what exactly I'm going to do. So be on the lookout for an announcement that's going to have the details of that giveaway. Hopefully I'm going to have that announcement out later this week and give you all the details and what you need to do to be entered in that giveaway. My plan is to have 3 winners. I'm going to give away 3 prizes, and I'm just not nailed down yet on what those prizes are going to be. I ordered a few things, so I want to wait for those to come in, or at least to know that they shipped and are on the way. You know what I mean? I don't want to start a giveaway and still not have the items in my hand that I intend to give away. This whole 1,000 subscriber thing really snuck up on me. I mean, it happened really fast, the last couple hundred. I thought I had a little bit more time than I did, and it ended up happening really, really quickly. So I needed a little bit of time just to get some things ordered and to get some ideas, pick some brains of some friends, and see what I want to do. I do want to make sure that I am inclusive of international subscribers, so I am going to have at least one of my prizes is going to be available for international subscribers as well. So I know shipping is crazy in some places, so it's going to be probably one of the prizes is going to be a gift card, and that would be for any international winner, because I would rather put the money toward the prize itself than put it towards shipping. And I'm sure that you all would appreciate that more as well. So that is what is going on with that. And yes, count on that announcement later on this week of the details. So now that we got that out of the way, we can talk about what I have been up to. And I have been up to a lot. I just got done telling y'all that I'm a homebody and I don't go anywhere and I don't do anything. And now I'm going to get into these stories of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. And you're going to say, she's a liar. And I have done more this summer socially than I have done in probably 4 years. It has been an amazing summer for me as far as getting the opportunity to travel and, go new places, meet new people, see new things, have new experiences. It all started back in June with the Michigan retreat. That was amazing, and I can't wait for next year's retreat. And then going from there, the following week, I went to Texas to work with Craftably, and that was an amazing week. It was a hella tiring week, just with all the driving, but it was still, I got to see and do things that I had never seen or done before, so that was really exciting. Then last weekend, no, today's Monday, not this past weekend, the weekend before last, I had the chance, my friend Sarah she is, and I say friend, but she's more like a sister. I'm very close to her and her mom. Her mom is like a mom to me. I call her mom. She's just, uh, she's Nate's Nima. I think you guys, if you've been around a while, you've heard me before talk about Nima. Nate, thinks of her as a grandma. We celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas with her, and all the holidays. She's who I go up north when I go up north. She's who I go to stay with up north. She lives here in town, but she has property up about 3 hours north, up near the Mackinac Bridge. It's about an hour from the hour. It's Rogers City, which is about an hour 45 minutes to the east of Mackinac, and it's along the coastline there of Lake Huron. So that's who I'm talking about when I talk about going up north. And so her daughter Sarah is my good friend also, and it was her daughter's 21st birthday. So it was myself, Sarah, her daughter Alex, whose birthday it was, and my two daughters, Emily and Madeline, and another family friend, Mackenzie. And we went for the weekend up to a little resort town up on Lake Michigan, which is on the west side of the state, to this little resort town called Harbor Springs. And Harbor Springs is like a very upscale, just truly tourist resort town on Lake Michigan. And Harbor Springs and Petoskey are very close. They're just separated by the Grand Traverse Bay. And so we went to Petoskey as well, but we stayed in, I don't know if anyone from Michigan is watching, or anyone who's familiar or has vacationed in northern Michigan, but there's this thing called the Tunnel of Trees up in northern Michigan. And it's a forest, it's a roadway that hugs Lake Michigan. It's barely 2 lanes. I mean, it's very, very narrow. And when I say it hugs Lake Michigan, it actually hugs it on a cliffside. So as you're driving along, if you're driving in the southbound lane, you are like right on the edge of this bluff that leads down to Lake Michigan. And it's just, the trees just come over it and create like a tunnel. So it's called the Tunnel of Trees. So we stayed at this cute little resort motel type thing. It reminded me of Dirty Dancing. It was like all wooded, like, wood paneling. In like the rooms were in like a U shape. And then in the center on the outside, there was a pool and shuffleboard and a fire pit and a grill. And there were kids playing in a playground. And it reminded me of the camp, the vacation camp on Dirty Dancing. But anyway, so we got a couple of rooms there, and we spent the weekend. We went on Friday, and to get there, we have to take I-75, which is the interstate that runs from Michigan to Florida, down, through the eastern part of the country. And the speed limit on I-75 is 75 miles per hour. Well, Angie, who is the driver, of course, I swear after the weekend was over, I swear these girls brought their moms with them. The only reason Sarah and I were there were to be their designated drivers. I'm pretty sure that was their ulterior motive for even inviting us to this celebration in the first place. Which is fine. I would rather see them party and get home safely than to have been drinking and driving, which I know all of them are smart enough not to do. So, but I was driving on the way up on Friday evening, and I got pulled over, you guys, and I got a ticket. And I'm not going to tell you how fast I was going, 91, in a 75. And I am absolutely mortified. Like, I cannot believe it, because now our insurance is going to go up. I'm going to get points on my license. I haven't had a ticket in probably 20 years. Maybe not that long, maybe 15 years. But still. I just regret it so much. Ugh, so mad at myself. So mad at myself. But the guy was really nice. He could have given me, a ticket for going as fast as I was going, but instead he gave me a ticket for going 1 to 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, which I thought was very nice of him. So that won't be quite as bad as far as points on your license are concerned, and hopefully as far as insurance rates are concerned, because I tell you, we already pay out the butt for insurance, and it's only going to get worse. We've only got 3 more years till Nate starts driving, and then we're going to have to pay those ridiculous rates for having a 16-year-old driver on our policy. Not looking forward to that coming up, but anyway, so got the ticket on the way up there, so that didn't start the weekend very well. But on Saturday we went to brunch, and we had a gorgeous mimosa brunch, and then we went back to the hotel and got our things and headed down to the beach. There's a beach right in the downtown area on Grand Traverse Bay. And it was so weird, because the high for the day was 73. It's a lot cooler in northern Michigan than it is in more southern, areas. I live in the middle of Michigan, so I love living in Michigan. It's like the stupid people's place to live, because you can use your hand for a map. So I live, here's the lower peninsula of Michigan. This is Lake Huron over here, and the Saginaw Bay right here. I live right here. So where we went was way up here. It was a 3-hour drive, and this is Lake Michigan over here. But that difference in just that 3-hour difference makes a huge difference in temperature, as far as like the summertime highs. So it was only 73 degrees the day we went to the beach, but sitting there on that beach and the sun reflecting off that water, it was so warm. It was so hot. It was weird that you could feel so hot, and the actual, thermometer only said 73. It was just really, really wacky. So we went to the beach for the day, and the girls had some beverages, and Sarah and I just sat there and laughed at them as they were being goofy. Then we went back to the rooms and got all showered and dressed and ready to go out to dinner. And we drove to Petoskey to go to dinner. And Petoskey was, like I said, around on the other side of Grand Traverse Bay. And we found this cool little bar, kind of like a saloon type atmosphere, and went to dinner. And then we proceeded to spend the rest of the night looking for nightlife. Okay, now we're in this upscale resort area where the median age is probably 50 of the people visiting there. It's not like a happening place to be. And these girls are trying to find someplace to party. And yeah, that was interesting. So we ended up at this little hole-in-the-wall neighborhood bar. Their jukebox, they had a jukebox. Their jukebox, if you've ever operated a jukebox, it has arrows where you flip through. This was an old jukebox where it actually had the pages that flipped. It wasn't like one of the new digital ones. So you actually had to flip through the pages, to find your CD or the music that you wanted to listen to. It only flipped 2 pages. So there was not a lot of choices to be had. So the guy, the owner of the bar, and this is how little of a bar it was. The owner was actually the bartender. Said, what do you guys want to hear? I have Spotify. I can, I can put whatever you want to hear on. So the girls had him put on some music they could dance to. They did some country line dances, and then they did, stuff like the cha-cha slide and, the Dougie and those kind of line dancey songs. And the people in the bar were so amused by these young girls in there. We literally made a dance floor. We moved tables out of the way and turned this bar into a dance floor. It did not have a dance floor. And they were so amused by it all that we ended up hardly spending any money in that place because everybody kept buying us drinks. So that was really nice, especially considering how expensive Harbor Springs and Petoskey are. After dinner, we had gone to a bar in Petoskey, and we ordered 3 drinks. I ordered 3 drinks, one for me and one for each of my 2 daughters. It was $48. $48 for 3 drinks. And these weren't like, Mile High hurricanes or anything. It was just 3 basic mixed drinks. Yes, $48. So we go to this other bar. He sets us up on it, starts us on a tab all together, all on one, and we're fine. We'll just figure it out when we leave or when we go to pay or whatever. So it's time to get going, and I go up to the bartender to ask him for the tab, and we had drank there for a few hours, 6 of us. Well, not Sarah. Sarah didn't drink because she was going to drive home, and I didn't drink very much. But 6 of us, and our bill was $42 for shots and, all kinds of White Claws and, whatever. So, yeah, that was a welcome relief from the exorbitant prices that we had been used to. The place where we had gone for brunch, the mimosas were $14 each for a mimosa. And if you're someone who's from the big city, that might not seem like a lot to you, or it might seem standard or average. But for us, I don't live in a big city and I don't get out much, but that price just seemed exorbitantly expensive. So I was happy to get out of there, get out of the tourist district and get to a place that had a little bit more local flair, and we could get some, cheaper prices. So then the highlight of the weekend was on Sunday. On Sunday, Maddie had booked us a bus, and they took us on a wine tour. And it was really interesting to learn all about the wine region in Michigan. Northern Michigan is a really up-and-coming area for wine production. There are, in just the Petoskey and Harbor Springs area, there are something like 15 vineyards and wineries. And I think, I don't know how popular the Traverse area winery business is in Michigan, if any of you have ever heard of Traverse City wine, but that's also a very popular wine area in northern Michigan. But it was really interesting so what they did was they picked us up at our hotel and took us to 4 different wineries, and we got to get flights of, some places had 4 wines per flight and some had 5. And you got to choose off of their tasting menu 4 or 5 of the different types of their wine that you would like to try. I'm not a huge wine person, but a lot of the places had hard ciders. One place also made craft beer, so that was nice. They also had champagne or sparkling wine, so that was, a good option for me. But some of the places were just absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Just the vistas and the views from their tasting areas were just something that I don't encounter in my everyday life. They were just stunning, just stunningly appointed, and just very, very, very elegant and nice. And it was fun. It was a really good time. The only thing that kind of dampened the day was that I had to drive home 3 hours afterwards. So we started this wine tour at noon, and we ended it at 4 p.m. So I had some wine at the first two places, but then, and they don't give you much in the flights for the sampling. They just fill the glass maybe that far. I think it's 2 ounces. They give you a 2-ounce pour. So you're not really consuming all that much alcohol. So I did do the tasting at the first place. I did my own flight. At the second place, me and my daughter Emily shared a flight. So I didn't have, all that much there. And then I did not drink at the final 2 places just because I knew I had to drive home in a few hours. And it worked out just fine. And, we stopped and got some food on the way home. But it was a long ride home because you better believe I drove the speed limit, and not 1 mile per hour over. There is no way I was going to risk getting another ticket. No way, no how. So that was weekend before last. So this weekend comes, and on the 31st is my daughter Madeline's 24th birthday. So she had arranged for something really fun. Now you remember Maddie is my daughter that lives in Detroit. So I have 2 sisters, and my oldest, I'm the oldest. The middle sister, Heather, she has 2 daughters that are roughly my daughter's ages, but only one of them lives here in town. And then my sister Holly has 2 boys, and so she's the only woman in her house. So she doesn't get to do things very often with just the girls. She lives the boy life. So my daughter Maddie had made this arrangement for us to go on a tiki bar boat tour in the Detroit River, which you probably think that sounds nasty, but really it's right where the river opens up into Lake Huron, and the water was just sparkling and blue and beautiful. I was really surprised at how lovely the water was. There were people sailing on sailboats. There were people out on jet skis. There were people, what is that called when you stand on the board, and paddle boarding. There were people at the beach on Belle Isle swimming. It was really nice, but it was a little bit, so it's a tiki bar boat, but you had to bring your own alcohol. So again, I was the designated driver because, like I said, my sisters, they don't get out much either. And I wanted for them to be able to enjoy themselves. And so I volunteered to drive. And so it was me, my sister Heather, my sister Holly, my niece Lauren, my daughter Emily, and my daughter Madeline. And so there were 6 of us on this tiki bar boat. Now, when I envisioned this in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be like a pontoon, right? How else would you have a tiki bar on a boat? So I'm envisioning we're going to be on some kind of small pontoon boat. Oh, no. So we get there, and I see these round tiki huts bobbing in the water. And I'm thinking, oh, hell no. No, 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 no. But yes, that's what it was. We were on these they were round, you guys. They were round boats, round tiki hut boats. It was the weirdest thing. It was so freaking weird. I asked the guy who was our captain, I was like, is it hard to steer a round boat? He said, oh, it's extremely difficult. And he is someone who, he actually owns a sailboat and has been boating his entire life. And he said it was difficult for him to get used to it, and he said it's, he had been doing it all summer. Here it is the end of August, and he said he's still not used to it, that it's very difficult to steer them. And I can imagine that it would be. But it was a blast. It was so much fun. He had a speaker that was very loud, and we could play whatever music from our phones we wanted to. And he was super gracious about taking pictures of all of us. And we just tooled around the Detroit River for 2 hours, and they just drank. Maddie shotgunned a beer. They were doing shots. They had wine. They had Jägermeister. They had everything under the sun. Everybody was just partying and living it up, and it was a blast. It was really just too much fun, and the weather couldn't have been more perfect. It was in the 80s, and then with the breeze on the water, it was just absolutely a perfect, sunny, gorgeous day. And it was relatively cheap. We all chipped in, all 6 of us chipped in and split the cost of it. And so we each only had to pay $25, which I thought was incredibly cheap. Now, of course, we all each pitched in another $10 so that we could tip the captain, because he was really good. But it was, I didn't think that was too bad of a price at all for a 2-hour excursion, especially considering the price of gas, just the gas to power the boat, what they must have spent on that. So that's what we did on Sunday. And we, after we were finished with our tour, we all piled into my car and went downtown to Jacoby's, which is, interestingly enough, the oldest bar in Detroit. So it's a German bar, and they have authentic German food, and it was so delicious. Oh, it was so good. I got German meatballs with spatzel and red cabbage, and it was so delicious. With this cream sauce, it was just magnificent. It was really, really good. And then they had real Bavarian pretzels with beer cheese. Oh, it was the soft, warm pretzels, not the hard kind. It was so, so good. So that's what we did to kind of round out our day. Took Maddie back home to her house, and the aunts got to see her place, because even though she's lived there a year and a half now, my sisters had not been down there to see her house, so they were interested in, wanted to see where she was living and stuff like that. And she really does live in a really cool place. So we did that, and then just headed home. But that was all day. I picked them up at 10 o'clock in the morning, and by the time we got home after all of that, it was 6 o'clock at night. So it was a long day. I was tired afterwards, but it was worth it. It was really nice to be able to get to spend that time with family and just with the girls in my family, because that's not something that happens very often. This is 2 weeks in a row now that I've gotten to spend time with both of my daughters without any men or kids around. And that has been something else. I mean, it has never happened before since the girls have become adults. I think the last time the three of us got to do anything alone together was probably Emily's senior year of high school, when we went to Florida for spring break. So it was really a treat for me to be able to spend such good quality time with my girls 2 weekends in a row. And yeah, I appreciate that so much. So that's what's been going on in my world. What else? What else? Oh, I babysat my. Oh, ay. I babysat my grand monsters, Wednesday last week, and that was a trip. I'm not cut out for that life. See, I hate working just with the plastic because I never know, like, where to stop. Well, I think I'm going to try to finish up the rest of these arrows just because I've got all these in my tray. If I lean forward and you can see my shoulders in the back of my head, tell me, okay? You can't tell me. What am I talking about? Now that's just silly. But yes, Emily had a daycare crisis one day last week, and I ended up babysitting the girls. I'm not cut out for that life. I can't do it. They're too much. They are 2 and almost 4, and they are a lot. We had to watch Moana twice. Of course, I say we watched Moana twice. We really didn't watch it. We were busy playing, but it was on in the background. But twice we had to go through that. And then Frozen only once, so that was good. I don't dig Frozen, and I know I'm probably in like the huge minority, but it's not one of my favorite kids shows. I don't know. I just don't like it. But so I tried to get them to go swimming with me and Jeff. And Lila, the youngest, she was right into it, man. She wanted to swim. She loves to swim. That kid is a fish. She'll stay in the pool until her lips are blue and her teeth are chattering. She doesn't care. She wants to swim no matter what. But then Marie, the almost 4-year-old, she's a different story. She is scared of the water, and while I want her to become more comfortable with being in the water, I don't want to push her because I think that ultimately all that's going to do is make her more afraid. So I try to be really patient with her. So she basically just hangs out on the ladder while the rest of us are swimming. And of course, I mean, they both have flotation devices on. So they're both, very safe. But yeah, so we did that. The chickens are doing great. We have one rooster, it turns out. I'm not sure if I mentioned that last time we talked. Turns out we do have one rooster. He has started cock-a-doodle-doing. And it's hilarious because it's like he's a teenager and he hasn't quite found his voice yet. It's very pitchy. It's cute. It's funny. It's hilarious. So, but he's gorgeous. He has really turned into a beautiful, beautiful rooster. Just his plumage is like got that iridescent sheen to it on his back feathers, and his back feathers really arch up, and they're just he's really a good looking guy. So hopefully, we can, once the hens start laying eggs, hopefully maybe one of my hens will get a little bit broody. And what that means is if a hen gets broody, it means that she wants to lay on her eggs rather than just lay the egg, get up and walk away. A hen will decide she wants to sit on the eggs, meaning incubate them. So hopefully I'll have a hen at least that feels a little broody, and maybe we can get some baby chicks next year out of this batch of chickens. We'll see. They're pretty friendly. I've had breeds of chicken before. It's funny because chickens can really be different temperamentally depending on their breed. I've had breeds of chickens before that have been very standoffish, very skittish. I've had aggressive breeds. I've had lazy breeds that all they wanted to do was lay around, and those were meat birds. Ugh, I really regret ever getting them. They were meat birds that were supposedly bred so that they would have the largest breasts, and they got so big so fast that they ended up, after a time, they could barely walk. They were so heavy in their breast area, and they would basically just belly up to the food and just lay there and eat, and that's all they did was lay there and eat. And they were white birds, so they were filthy from just laying there all day every day. That was not a good batch of birds that we got there, and they had no personalities whatsoever. It was like they were Franken chickens. They were not fun at all. I like chickens for the eggs, but more so I like them for their personalities, and I like them, I like to interact with them and have them as pets. And, it's fun when you give them treats and they'll come and take it out of your hand. And it's fun when they follow you around the yard, thinking that you're going to give them a treat. And it's fun when you call, I have this special little voice that I use when I'm taking treats out to them, and when they hear me and respond and come running. That's all the fun parts of having chickens. It's not, it's not about, for me, it's not about having the meat or having the eggs. So I've got a really good group, I think, a really good batch of breeds that are very friendly and nice. And I hope we'll get maybe some baby chicks next year out of them. I love it when my hens hatch their own chicks. It's really fun, really, really fun to watch a mama hen with her babies and just watch the way they follow her around, and the way she guards them so closely, and the way she sleeps on them to keep them warm. It's really cool. If you've never seen, that interaction of a farm animal with its young, it's an amazing bond, and it's really, really neat. So I hope that'll happen. That'll happen in the spring. But yeah, so I think I'm going to head up north, like I said, either tomorrow or Wednesday, but I will be putting out that announcement about the giveaway. And I do have, don't you hate it when okay, I have several things today that are out for delivery, and usually I don't really pay attention or care when things are coming, but I've got some new cross stitch stuff coming, and I'm really excited to see some of these things, because I'm dipping my toes into the world of counted cross stitch for the first time. So I'm really excited to see these new things, and so they're out for delivery today according to the tracking. And does this ever happen to you guys? Of course, because I'm waiting for something to get delivered today, my mail is 2 hours late. It always is here by 1:30, and now here it is 3:30, no mail. So I'm going to end this here and go check the mail one more time and see if my mailman has come, because I want to get this stuff before Jeff gets home from work. Because, well, just because you guys know how it is. I mean, he knows, but does he really know? It's a different thing. He knows that I get a lot of packages, but it's a little bit different when he sees the packages coming, I think. It's kind of an out of sight, out of mind thing. So I like to get my packages in and unboxed before he gets home from work. And we have to go school shopping tonight, so I'm not going to have time to do any filming this evening. And tomorrow I will be getting ready to go up north, so I won't really have time tomorrow either. So I just want it to get here so I can get this done. But anyways, on that note, I'm going to leave you all. and go try to take care of some more business. So thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you so much for helping me reach this 1,000 subscriber milestone. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and weekend if I don't talk to you before then. And I will see you all in my next video. All right, take it easy, guys. Bye.